Talk about your journey a little bit.
Okay.
I would like you to remind people what year you had your original gastric bypass surgery and what was the impetus or the thing that tipped the scales that made you make that decision.
Tip the scales, literally? Okay, yeah. Wow. I had a gastric bypass in 1999. I was 31, and basically I had reached a point where I completely gave up. I did not know what to do anymore. I was really physically suffering. I had a list of comorbidities. I was just about diabetic. I was definitely pre-diabetic. My triglycerides were very high. I was weeks away from becoming diabetic, that's the truth. I had hypertension. I had chronic headaches, I had joint pain, I had acne, I had, my body was toxic, my liver was toxic. I was so physically exhausted, I was always short of breath, I had slip discs in my back, 31 years old. And, you know.
Right, it sounds like you're describing someone in their 60s or 70s.
Exactly,
right? Yeah.
Exactly. I clearly was beyond physically unhealthy, and then mentally and emotionally and spiritually terrified, depressed, just very scared, just completely at a rock bottom, hopeless and helpless. And, you know, I heard about a gastric bypass. Actually, my manager at the time, Mickey Shapiro, had mentioned that Roseanne Barr had a surgery, and that was how he heard of it. But he said to me, you know, there's an opportunity for you to really, really help people. He saw me gain quite a bit of weight, and he was scared for me too. My whole family was terrified because I could hardly walk and I could hardly breathe. So he said, you know, I really believe that, I believe in you, and I believe that you need help. And he said, there is a way for you to not only help yourself, but to help other people. So I don't want you to feel ashamed by this. This is what he said to me.
That's beautiful.
I don't want you to feel ashamed. You make the decision.
Right.
But you can do this to save your life, and you can also choose to do this live on the internet, which would be the first surgery ever in history, live on the internet. And I said to him, well, that's really kind of crazy. You know what I mean? It freaked me out and spooked me out, and I thought, why would I do that? I mean, I'll talk about it. And then I really started thinking about why, and I realized that I knew that I was going to make, this is going to make an impression.
Yeah.
This, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to hide anything. And, you know, so the camera didn't physically go into my abdomen, the gut.
Yeah.
But you saw me going in.
Yes.
You knew exactly what was happening, time, you know, right during the surgery. And then it jammed the whole internet up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, 500,000 people watched.
It was groundbreaking.
Yeah, it was great. And of course, I wasn't actually thinking about that because I'm a normal person, and like when you go into surgery, you're scared out of your mind.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big decision. Any surgery is risky, and I was scared. I was terrified. But I was more scared not to do it. And that's what I tell people all the time.
That's so true.
I'm so scared to do it, they say. I say, no, be more scared if you don't.
Right.
So, you know, it was a great experience. I followed all the rules, and without going into the details of the next, 2 years, we can if you want, but I decided to change my life, and the day that I did have surgery, I did change my life forever, and it was the best thing I ever did. Best thing I ever did. Yeah. I'm so grateful that I was brave enough to face this head on.
Yeah. And that's, so, boy, kudos to Mickey.
Yeah.
I did know that story, and it's fantastic, and what a good, heck, my husband kind of approached me the same way. He must have really loved you to say that.